We talked so much about Shedeur Sanders dropping to the fifth round. And here's where all of that talk does not matter. OTAs, right? NFL teams getting guys in camp, getting some work done before. This is the thing they do before you get into the summer and summer workouts and, of course, the preseason. Shedeur Sanders for Cleveland, all reports are he was outstanding on the field. And right now, the odds are he could be QB1 going into training camp.
It's pretty wild, isn't it? But didn't we all know he had talent? How did you not watch that kid and think he had talent? Now, there were obviously concerns about his attitude, about some things that he didn't maybe take it as seriously at times. Obviously, his dad and everything else is a big name. But a lot of people thought he should have been taken in the first couple rounds. So it shouldn't surprise anybody that he's the best quarterback on that roster, because it's like a murderer's row of quarterbacks either. So It's not like he's beating out Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I'm not advising going into your job interview and not genuflecting to the NFL guys. But part of these, like the attitude that I kept reading about, sounded like a bunch of GMs who were upset that he wasn't deferential enough to them. And with today's athletes and the egos and stuff, to me, I'm more worried about, can he lead a group of people and can he do what is necessary on the field versus does he call me sir every time he talks to me? And I think some of this is just old angry men syndrome. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, but isn't that what the NFL? I mean, that's where, and I go back to the whole Michael Vick thing and the stuff that he was doing, the dogfighting and the gambling and whatever, and the whole, gee, we didn't know. I'm sorry. I know there is a former golf buddy who played in the NFL. It was a seventh round pick that said that he learned they had a file on him that was an inch thick. He was a seventh round pick. The NFL, they're incredibly anal about what everybody does. They question, why does Jimmy Garoppolo not have a girlfriend when he went in? Which, valid question. But yeah, but still.
Why doesn't he have a girlfriend? Why does he have too many? Who knows? What makes these guys happy?
Exactly. But I think, but for Shedeur, again, the point is you have a team, you're in. It's not the money you would like. You probably took a pay cut from your NIL deal that you got in college. But bottom line is you're in. And if you do what you're supposed to be doing, there you go. And it's like producer Tony said, he's battling against the Three Stooges up there in Cincinnati, in Cleveland.
This is true. And what I find is interesting is that there is a guy that probably it humbled him maybe. You know what I mean? I think that not getting you learn like how hard it is. We were just talking about earlier segment talking about Brett Bielema getting humbled a little bit by losing. Shedeur Sanders he didn't even get it. He almost didn't get drafted. You start sliding down there like, crap, I'm having a draft party for no apparent reason. So this is one of those things. Now I got to go prove myself. I got to have a different attitude, and I think it could pay off really big.
I thought I was going to get drafted in the first 6 rounds of the NFL draft, and all I got is this crummy T-shirt. I do think you also light a fire under a guy who has considerable amount of athletic ability. When I kept hearing that he's not much of an athlete, based on what we saw him do on football fields in high school down here in Texas, I'm like, I wish I was not an athlete like him.
Exactly.
Yeah, give me that non-athleticism any day.
Gosh darn, if that's not an athlete, I'm like,
in college, he's running for touchdowns and running for his life half the
I know,
time.
but the way they describe him on the draft, it's like he's in a walker and he has to take Geritol
like Tom
to go
Brady
out on the
coming
field.
out. It was like when Tom Brady came out and ran like a 5.8 40 or whatever.
Yeah. How'd that work out for him? Exactly.
Yeah, he turned out okay.
Yeah, not bad. Another interesting situation is with the Colts. Anthony Richardson is the established guy, but they brought in former Giants starter, former top 10 pick Daniel Jones to compete against him. Interesting that they're splitting time right now with the first team.
Yeah, Daniel Jones obviously has the arm talent. Just never really had an opportunity. Now, how will it turn out? It's not like he had great guys around him, though. It wasn't like he was put into a great situation. So I don't know. Maybe he's another guy who learns from this. Maybe he pushes Anthony Richardson, too, to be what he can be, because he is an elite talent from an arm strength. He's got all the tools. But he's also hasn't proven it yet. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, and I got to be honest with you, Daniel Jones, I'm not certain if he's got that much more around him at Indianapolis, but the bottom line is you've got a guy like Richardson who's probably not developed his arm as much because he's such an athletic talent that he can go out and use his legs and just destroy teams. And now all of a sudden you're in the NFL where the guys are bigger, faster, stronger, smarter. The coaching's great. And now he's got to try to figure out that arm calculus, and it's not going to be easy.
But Mike, don't you think too, the other side of this too, Anthony Richardson, as much as he does scramble and run and take hits, he's struggled to stay healthy. You better have a good backup. You better have a quality backup if you're going to have a guy like that. And we said that Lamar Jackson's had a couple years where he's been dinged up and different things. You better have a quality backup.
Yeah, like Dak Prescott. You better have a quality backup because Dak isn't that good. Oh, I'm sorry. He also gets hurt.
I thought Dak was the quality backup. He just happens to be starting.
Exactly. Yeah. $60 million, baby. That's what I got your backup. Speaking of, we mentioned Tom Brady. We'd be remiss if we didn't also point out that the last remaining player from the dynasty, the Patriots' 2-decade-long dynasty, is calling it quits. David Andrews won 2 Super Bowl rings during that time. He's going to retire on Monday. And so the final piece of one of the greatest runs in sports history is going to call it quits on Monday.
Yeah, it was a great dynasty, and now the coach of that dynasty has a 12-year-old girlfriend and 20.
I was going to ask, Brad, who's older, the dynasty or Bill Belichick's girlfriend?
The dynasty. Boy. The dynasty's older, Mike. There's no question. Yeah. So there you go. He's still coaching somewhere.
Yeah, he is.
He's in the JFL.
You know what, though, with Bill Belichick, the thing about that coaching is that story. I don't care what happens over there. I'm paying attention because it looks like it's going to be fun.
It is.
And once all the boys get back on campus, it's only going to get more interesting. It just takes one bad social media post for this thing just to all go.
Can you imagine that? Hey, don't hit on the coach's.
Yeah.
Don't hit on the head coach's girlfriend. Okay.
Mind if we dance with your date, Bill?
All right, hour number 1 is done for so many of you. Hour number 2 is up next. We'll talk recruiting and so much more. We are the Illini Guys. We're back with more.
How you doing?